First look at this beauty. Don't worry about that. The cover fell off while I was driving it home and I just kicked it out of my way. All right, so I got most of the seats removed. I left these front 2 rows just because I thought I might drive some friends around, but those are coming out next. And I'm starting to gut this beast. So all this stuff's gonna come off. It's just gonna be a bare bones bus in the next few days. Hopefully this weekend I'll be able to spend some more time with it and get all this stuff off the floor. The first step is to gut it all out and then fill all the holes from the bolt holes. As you can see, the seats were bolted straight through the floor. So there's tons of holes the whole way in the bottom of this thing. I'm gonna seal them all up and then get it painted so the holes don't rust basically. And then the real fun can begin and I'll start putting in subfloor and doing all that stuff. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update, show you what this bus is all about before I get too far with it. It's gonna be a fun project and I'll definitely be documenting it all. So can't wait to get moving with it. But today we're busy with the header board on the garage because the top weather stripping was leaking or not sealing properly, and because it wasn't sealing, it let water in and water got onto that big top header board, as you could see in the video. So we got to replace all that. Fun. Alright, got this all fixed up, back to normal. Can't even tell we did anything really, except now the board that's behind there is not rotted. I didn't get to film much of this. I was kind of in a rush and I actually left before finishing it. My dad and my brother stuck around and got it done for me, so that was a nice thing for them to do for me. I came home and it was all finished up. I was able to salvage everything. Like you can see, it's still the old weather stripping and the original aluminum that was up there. We were just very careful when we removed everything, so it all just went right back up. All we had to do was replace that board. Now we're gonna go have some fun with the bus, rip some more stuff out. So this is what I'm gonna do for an hour or so today before I go to work. See what we can get into, make this thing a little more sweet. Still got a few seats left and a lot of junk to rip out of here. Pretty excited to start. So without further ado, I'm going to keep ripping this out. This metal weather stripping stuff, or whatever you call it, on the sides of this walkway, so I can get this floor up. Maybe I'll figure out how I can get these tracks out too. It looks like it's just some Allen heads. So that's actually pretty neat though. It'd be cool to use those maybe. I'm not sure what for, because I plan on putting TRS in here, but those are kind of nice. Get a little bus update going on here. So as you can see, I ripped out those tracks that used to be there. I started messing with this because it's like a loud, annoying alarm that goes off when I have the door open. I have the battery disconnected now, so that's the only reason it's not doing it, but normally it'd be screaming. Anyway, I started ripping up the floor. I got all the metal trim off. As you can see, this mess of it over here underneath the vinyl or whatever you want to call it is some plywood. Some of it I might actually reuse. I'm not sure if I can, if any of it's not rotted, I might keep it, but it looks like most of it has a little bit of moisture that's gotten to it, so it's probably best if I just replace it all. That has been a project in itself. Just getting this floor up is kind of a pain in the butt, and removing all that crap that you see in that pile there, just trim pieces, and it's never ending. There's so many little fasteners, and everything is like self-tapping metal screws that are stripped and filled with gum and whatever else. I've never removed so many screws with the pliers in my entire life. I also cleaned out these steps. The treads were all messed up, and there's some rust, as you can see, on that bottom step, so that's gonna need addressed and a little bit of work. Yeah, so I'm just, you know, slowly but surely making progress on this thing. Next, I'm gonna rip out the rest of these seats. As soon as I get a buddy to help me, I need someone to be up here while I crawl underneath and hold the nuts, or I'd have to cut them all off, which I did that with those brackets in the back. Those were not very fun. These, I forget what they call them. Eye track or something like that. Eye lock. Anyway, those things were a major pain. They were held in with like 2, 4, 8 big Allen bolts and nuts on the bottom of them, and they were extremely like rusted, corroded, whatever you want to call it. So I ended up just using a grinding wheel, and I cut every single one of them off from the bottom. That was not very fun, like I said. Next, I got to figure out what I want to do with this. The wheelchair lift is definitely staying. That's part of the reason I bought the bus, actually. I was specifically looking for one with a wheelchair lift so I could get my bikes in and out easily. And I want to get this floor up, though, so what I'll probably do is remove the bolts that have this thing secured just so that I could move it about. I'll leave all the electric and everything hooked up, and I'll pretty much leave it where it is. I'll just move it around as I need to rip the floor up underneath it, and that'll be that. Outside, I did a couple things maintenance-wise. So my front hubs on these buses, the wheel bearings have these covers, and there's actually an oil bath. The wheel bearings sit in an oil bath. So I wanted to check my oil on them, and I pulled this cap off to check the oil, and the whole cover just cracked apart. It was all dry rotted. So I just bought 2 new ones along with new oil, put it in there, new gear oil, get those bearings a little happier with some fresh oil. I also got some new fuel filters and some new gear oil for the rear differential, along with some new coolant. I'm going to change all the fluids, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated for sure.